The Boston Herald is an American daily newspaper whose primary market is Boston, Massachusetts and its surrounding area. It was founded in 1846 and is one of the oldest daily newspapers in the United States. It has been awarded 8 Pulitzer Prizes in its history, including 4 for editorial writing and 3 for photography before it was converted to tabloid format in 1981. The Herald was named one of the 10 newspapers that do it right in 2012 by editor and publisher. In December 2017, the Herald filed for bankruptcy. On February 14, 2018, Digital First Media successfully bid $11.9 million to purchase the company in a bankruptcy auction. The acquisition was completed on March 19, 2018. As of August 2018, the paper had approximately 110 total employees, compared to about 225 before the sale. The Herald's history can be traced back through 2 lineages: the Daily Advertiser and the Old Boston Herald, and 2 media moguls, William Randolph Hearst and Rupert Murdoch. The original Boston Herald was founded in 1846 by a group of Boston printers jointly under the name of John A. French and Company. The paper was published as a single 2-sided sheet, selling for 1 cent. Its first editor, William O. Eaton, just 22 years old, said, "The Herald will be independent in politics and religion, liberal, industrious, enterprising, critically concerned with literacy and dramatic matters, and diligent in its mission to report and analyze the news, local and global." In 1847, the Boston Herald absorbed the Boston American Eagle and the Boston Daily Times. In October 1917, John H. Higgins, the publisher and treasurer of the Boston Herald, bought out its next-door neighbor, the Boston Journal, and created the Boston Herald and Boston Journal even earlier than the Herald. The Weekly American Traveler was founded in 1825 as a bulletin for stagecoach listings. The Boston Evening Traveler was founded in 1845. The Boston Evening Traveler was the successor to the Weekly American Traveler and the semi-weekly Boston Traveler. In 1912, the Herald acquired the Traveler, continuing to publish both under their own names. For many years, the newspaper was controlled by many of the investors in United Shoe Machinery Co. After a newspaper strike in 1967, Herald Traveler Corp. suspended the Afternoon Traveler and absorbed the evening edition into the Herald to create the Boston Herald Traveler. The Boston Daily Advertiser was established in 1813 in Boston by Nathan Hale. The paper grew to prominence throughout the 19th century, taking over other Boston area papers. In 1832, the Advertiser took over control of the Boston Patriot, and then in 1840 it took over and absorbed the Boston Gazette. The paper was purchased by William Randolph Hearst in 1917. In 1920, the Advertiser was merged with the Boston Record. Initially, the combined newspaper was called the Boston Advertiser. However, when the combined newspaper became an illustrated tabloid in 1921, it was renamed the Boston American. Hearst Corp. continued using the name Advertiser for its Sunday paper until the early 1970s. On September 3, 1884, the Boston Evening Record was started by the Boston Advertiser as a campaign newspaper. The Record was so popular that it was made a permanent publication. In 1904, William Randolph Hearst began publishing his own newspaper in Boston called The American. Hearst ultimately ended up purchasing the Daily Advertiser in 1917. By 1938, the Daily Advertiser had changed to the Daily Record, and The American had become the Sunday Advertiser. A third paper owned by Hearst, called the Afternoon Record, which had been renamed the Evening American, merged in 1961 with the Daily Record to form the Record American. The Sunday Advertiser and Record American would ultimately be merged in 1972 into the Boston Herald Traveler, a line of newspapers that stretched back to the old Boston Herald. In 1946, Herald Traveler Corporation acquired Boston radio station WHDH. 2 years later, WHDH-FM was licensed, and on November 26, 1957, WHDH-TV made its debut as an ABC affiliate on Channel 5. In 1961, WHDH-TV's affiliation switched to CBS. Herald Traveler Corp. Operated for years beginning sometime after under temporary authority from the Federal Communications Commission stemming from controversy over luncheon meetings the newspaper's chief executive purportedly had with John C. Duafer, chairman of the FCC between 1957 and 1960, who served as a commissioner during the original licensing process. The FCC ordered comparative hearings, and in 1969 a competing applicant, Boston Broadcasters, Inc., was granted a construction permit to replace WHDH-TV on Channel 5. Herald Traveler Corp. fought the decision in court. By this time, revenues from Channel 5 were all but keeping the newspaper afloat. But its final appeal ran out in 1972. And on March 19, WHDH-TV was forced to surrender Channel 5 to the new WCVB-TV. Without a television station to subsidize the newspaper, the Herald Traveler was